will not be waiting for us. So now, here, now let's just start from here. Now this is where we got a break of structure. A break of what? A break of structure. So after we got a break of structure here, a main break of structure. So a main swing low, making this now a main. Now when you like, now you understand that this is now what? A main swing low, now a main swing high. Now neglecting what is happening on lower time frame. So after markets do this, now market now what? Market now come for what? Internal liquidity. Now before coming for that internal liquidity, it created a range structure. So it continued with the former range structure it was using inside of the range. So it continued with that former range structure. So now the idea of this is this. Note this and know what I'm saying. Now, anytime market take out what a swing low, a major swing low as a break of structure. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, as normal range structure, now you will call this what we call what? Since now the order flow is to the downside. Since market order flow is to the downside. So since the order flow is to the downside, as market created firstly this consolidation. So it gave us what? A little break of structure here. Tell you that it's ready for what? Corrective wave based on what? Higher time frame order flow. So it gave us a corrective wave after the first BMS. The first BMS here, we do expect what we call a rare accumulation. After every BMS, we do expect what we call what? A rare accumulation. After every what? BMS to the upside, we do what? Expect what? A rare accumulation. So market now created what we call here, the idea of this is now what we call a rally, a base, now a rally. Now, despite the fact of this being a rally-based rally, now in terms of what schematic, now let's use in terms of schematic, let's say okay. Now in terms of schematic, now after market break this low, we do expect what we call a little redistribution. A little what? Redistribution after market break a swing low. So the idea of that is what? To use what? Breaker 2, the last breaker low, to continue the former range structure, which is this area. And like we said breaker 2 is mostly what? A good body. A good body, the one that has what? A good body. So market will use that breaker 2 to continue the former range structure. Now, based on this, according to the model we talked about, we said when it break a swing low in this range structure, is what? A combination of what? Schematic. So this will become now, we have what we call each phases. We have what we call Wyckoff phases. Now here, the whole of this area become what we call a schematic. The whole of this area become what? A schematic. In this schematic, we have what? Phase A. Phase A. We have what we call what? Phase A. Phase A. In this phase A is made up of what? Complete what? Range structure. Phase A is made up of what? A range structure. Then phase B is what? the corrective wave. Phase B is the corrective wave the market used to create the deep pullback. The deep pullback. The market using the other phase C, as the main last distribution. Now, so that is that. So firstly is what we call a range structure, which is phase A. Now phase A is majorly the range structure. After market gave us a good break of structure. Then phase B is the corrective wave. Why phase C is the last wave where market will distribute. Where market will we distribute. Now with this, we'll be explaining from our next class. We'll be explaining how to market can seek for liquidity in using Wyckoff. In using Wyckoff, like I said, we have different type of model in our Wyckoff explanation. We have different type of model in our Wyckoff explanation. So that is that. Now here is phase A and B and C. Mostly it's either phase A or B is always bigger, but most times phase B is always bigger. Phase B is always bigger in a schematic. This is what we call a ray distribution. This is what we call a ray distribution. So we explain the idea within it in terms of schematic. Now I'm just trying to do this so that you'll be seeing it in terms of structure before we will finally eliminate structure in it. Before we will finally eliminate structure from it. So that is just the first thing that you have to understand. That's in Wyckoff we have what we call phase A, phase B, and phase C. In Wyckoff, according to the one we do trade. So that is that. Now you'll be seeing how anytime market break structure, how it go as if little internal liquidity based on structure idea, break a major low. After breaking a major low, it gave us Now we explain the reason why this type of move happened. Note what happened here. So there are some moves that cannot be explained in terms of structure. That can only be explained in terms of Wyckoff. So here you see market respecting structure here completely in terms of range structure and all those stuff. But you get to this very point, you can create a low, a high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a higher high, then create a new lower low. So these are the ideas of what we call Wyckoff. Now what happened here is the reason behind what happened here. So in the idea of Wyckoff, market always seek for internal liquidity in the idea of structure. But now in this idea of structure here, or Wyckoff, market creates what we call a complete redistribution here. A complete redistribution here. A complete redistribution. In redistribution, we have what we call volume. We have what we call volume. In volume, we have what we call, firstly, we have what we call strength. In volume, we have what we call weakness, and we have it being written by as a range, and we do read it as a bar too, meaning price can go as a range, and can also go in terms of bar by bar as volume understanding. as what? Volume understanding. So that is that. Note today we are not going anything deep in Wyckoff. We are not going that deep. But I'm just trying to what? Explain things later for you guys. So here we still have what? BMS. Okay. Same method. BMS. BMS. So same thing happens till what? The lowest time frame. Same thing happen to what? The lowest time frame. So the main thing that will be what explaining in Wyckoff is where we do have what? A main BMS from our next class. That's what we what explaining where we do have what? A main BMS. Because why will we explain it like this? Because we have what we call range structure to what? Range structure. If we're explaining it, if we're explaining it in terms of what? Range structure, it will be what? It will look what? Somehow, because from range structure, another range structure is being created. But now when it's being what explained in Wyckoff, you understand that this was what the last area of where we got what? BMS before we start what? Creating what? A complete range structure, which is what we call what? A schematic for physics. A schematic physics. So all these are what we call what? A schematic physics. So that is that. It happens in all time frame. Same thing, same method, or same model that happened here is same thing that happened this area. Despite the fact that the consolidation was not much, but it's still what? Same model that happens here. So now, for you to what understand the range that you are trading now is what trying to what understand that this was the last area. You got now what a valid BMS. This was the last area. So anything below this is what a range structure, or for market to what create what a complex pullback, which is what we call what Wyckoff. The idea is what from Wyckoff. So likely market can decide to what create this and what create a new lower low in terms of what our what schematic. So in terms of what our schematic, in schematic we have what we call change of character. In change of what? A change of character. We have what we call accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, and what? Redistribution. So in schematic, the major things we use are what? The accumulation, reaccumulation, distribution, redistribution, volume, the volume profile, the change of character, and what? The phases, and the idea of what supply and demand within them. Those are the major things we use in our what? Wyckoff. So from our next class, we'll be what? Covering redistribution and what? Redistribution, distribution, and little thing about accumulation and reaccumulation in terms of what? Order flow. So we'll be what? Explaining these things in terms of order flow from our next class. So our next class will be recorded. Will be what? Recorded. But after that next class, the upper one will not what? Be recorded. So please be aware of that. So before we join the next class, I will give a room, like let's say 15 minutes for question and answer to ask any type of question you want from what previous classes, not on Wyckoff, from what previous classes, where you want ask any type of question you like, or anything that you did not understand. So I will answer you that very day before we what continue. So take care, enjoy your week, and good trading.